last week in my life.
Do you not? Like, seriously, like, I was catching a vibe.
With the amount of time I've spent in this closet, I decided to take on this challenge, and to see if I could even attempt to beat the game blindfolded.
And I think in order to get better at this, I'm gonna have to hire some trainers.
Fucking elbow! What are you doing? What do you call that? You call that a one shot? Go for it! Go for it! Go for it! That's not four, that's three!
I'm alone. There's no one here beside me. My friends are all gone. There's no one here beside me. But you gotta have friends. Yeah. I hate this job. Oh, you're finally here. You're early. You smell great. Old Spice? Anyway, let's start. Come in here and grab the tripod so we can film. So far we did both of my hobbies. I don't know. What do we do for this week's episode?
So I'm just gonna cut to the freeze frame at this point. I honestly just forgot my words, and I think this is easier instead of me cutting and you guys seeing me mess up. Anyway, so for this week, I really wanted to contemplate what I was gonna do for this episode. So I spent the last couple of days thinking, training, and sitting, and lots of sitting.
So if you noticed in the last couple of episodes, I made it pretty obvious that I'm in a fraternity. But it always wasn't like this. I was a freshman once, finding out weekend plans, figuring out who's 21 to get you brown water. Overall, just being reckless. So for this week, I decided, let's talk about my backstory.
So as every college frat story starts, I played lacrosse in high school. I was more of a bench warmer than a hustler, but I enjoyed every minute of it. In the long term, I didn't see myself playing sports in college, but I still did my best to try to stay in shape. Then I discovered brown water, and life's been a blur since. With this new technology, I decided to take my social skills and try to technically find a friend group I don't mind paying for.
Freshman year, David. What a guy. He always came around to our events, but he didn't really say much. He was always just the loud guy in the background.
Yeah, so Dave was a funny character when he was younger, but unfortunately we just couldn't commit to him. He gave off I'm already in vibes, and we just weren't about it.
David really came up to me 4 years ago and asked if he could be in my sorority. It's not that he couldn't, we just didn't want him.
I've known David since as long as I can remember. He seemed really interested in joining the org, but at the end of the day, he really didn't know where he was half the time, so we decided not to give him a bid.
So as we could tell in the beginning, people were a big fan of me. I couldn't decide which one though. In the end, I came up to the conclusion that I should just join something with a simple name, Axe. And before you ask, no, we're not sponsored by the deodorant.
I used to live with Dave when we first got here. He was all right. I mean, he was annoying and nobody really liked him, but he was in his own world just having a good time. As for what the frat did to Dave, yeah, it just turned him into a fuckboy.
I met Dave the first day I went to America. Then on the next day, he comes to my room at 8 a.m. telling me to buy a dog. I think he was trying too hard to make friends, but he even got me to join the frat.
So I met Dave about a year ago at a bonfire, and he just really wasn't it. He was one of those guys that just sat there dead quiet and would occasionally be the life of the party, but somehow this little shit got me to be his roommate. And actually, he's not a bad guy. He really isn't.
I used to live with Dave in the hood, down in North Side. So, I've seen him down. Bad. So, as for the fraternity, I'm not sure if it's his personality or if he's just trying to fit a stereotype.
As everyone knows, there's usually a process to join one of these organizations, but mine was a lot more different than the typical frat movies like Animal House, Neighbors, or American Pie.
So you're 3 weeks in. Let's look at your results. Okay, look at this. It says right here you have no symptoms for chlamydia, gonorrhea, or syphilis. And that's great. So in order to finally finish this process, you have to play a game of Pong and win that game against me around the entire campus.
Man, what did I get myself into? Anyway, this seemed way too easy to be true, but I did it anyway.
Damn, matching me. Damn.
Oh!
Money.
Stop. Damn it.
Go.
Let's go! Let's go!
That's right. That's all we have for this week. We didn't really do much, but it's good to know about my backstory and good to know us better, you know? At the end of the day, be good. So that's right. Tell your family to subscribe. Tell your mother to subscribe. Tell your sister to subscribe. Tell your shoes to subscribe. Tell your pants to subscribe. We'll accept anything, any piece of clothing. Your socks, your underwear, we're in it. All right? Until next week, we're out.